So how do we
guys.
start
Okay,
this?
guys, let's go.
Do we start this like dun 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 dun, dun like Anjo?
Yeah, we could do that.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's where you come in with a rap, Misha.
I am not going to rap.
Boo!
We said we'd talk about this. There was no rap in the discussion.
Boo! Hi guys, welcome to Sub-Auteurs. My name is MJ.
I'm Anjo.
Oh wait, we have names too. Shit.
And that's Misha.
Hi. Hello.
The guy who won't rap is Misha. So you probably have a clue if you are a fan, given that intro, which Misha didn't rap, unfortunately. But yes, we're talking about Hamilton.
Hooray!
Woo! I do.
There will be a lot of singing in this episode.
Okay. So yeah, Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Why did we?
Okay.
We're talking about something that that's relatively new compared to what we've been talking about the past couple of weeks.
Yes, it's actually refreshing to be talking about something that just came out and it's not like 10 years old.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it wasn't in the cinemas, it was wonderful to be actually consuming something with everybody once again. I don't know. I think there was just some sort of excitement in the air with this particular release. Even if it came out on whether it came out on the big screen or whatever, I still think that people would have rushed out to see it.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, it was one of those musicals that everybody was actually, even people who weren't familiar with musicals wanted to see because it was just such a big hit that Obama actually went to see it. They performed in the White House. The original cast performed in the White House, I think, during Obama's last day. Was it the last day, I think?
I think that was like one of the first ones, and they were still doing mixtape stuff, wasn't it? I mean,
so.
Originally.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 2009 or something. But I remember that Obama was quoted as saying that Hamilton was one of the only things he and his vice president could ever agree on.
Oh, wow. Wow. That is a statement. So this is brought into light by this podcast. Well, yes, while we know that it is a theater play, it was on Broadway and recorded for people to consume at home. It was intended for a theatrical release, right?
Yes, apparently so. It was.
Absolutely.
So that's why we're talking about it.
Right. Apparently, Walt Disney Pictures had been trying to buy the rights for years, along with everybody else in Hollywood. But the producers, including Lin-Manuel Miranda, they said that they weren't ready or they didn't want to sell it off just yet and all that. But eventually, the Walt Disney Company won with a bid of something like $75 million. So I guess they couldn't say no to that. And they promised that they would put out a release that would do the production proud. Now, COVID changed things up, and they had to be convinced, the producers had to be convinced that it would be a good idea to stream the film 15 months before it would have been on the big screen, because this is a play that, according to Disney, that the world needs to see now. What are your thoughts?
I agree, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people have been dying to see it. For a time when it was out, it was one of the Broadway plays that people really scrambled to get tickets. And
tickets were so expensive.
Yeah, besides the fact that it was expensive, you'd be lucky to just get a ticket. So it's something a lot of people wanted to see. And during these really tough times, I do believe people need this, especially people who haven't seen it. They need this content to, once again, inspire them. And especially with everything going on in the world, it's still very important. It's an important message to send.
How does
I
the
like
bastard,
the fact,
son of a whore? Sorry.
You lasted all of 3 minutes before bursting into song.
I'm sorry, I had to. This musical had one of the best track lists ever. Do you call that track lists? Or one of the best original scores and songs written. It was so original. Who would have expected a musical to incorporate hip hop
That's what I love about it.
Right?
If you're a fan of hip hop and R&B, my goodness, you would also geek out on all the references that Lin-Manuel Miranda drops in his lyrics, and he's so inspired by so many iconic rappers. So it's like, woo!
I've listened to the entire track list on Spotify just because my wife is a super fan. So for a good 6 months, that was what was.
Listen to it anyway.
I would. For a good 6 months, that was what was playing in the car all day.
I would have to agree.
I love that soundtrack. I mean, I like the fact that it's very of the now. I mean, for lack of a better description. I mean, it's contemporary. It's not trying too hard. And somehow they're able to cram in a 3-hour history lesson in there, and it never gets boring.
Nope, not at all.
This place got everything. Seriously, it does.
Not meaning to sound. I was lucky enough to see one production in New York when we were there.
Joke lang. I'm just jealous.
Yeah.
I'm just really jealous.
For our honeymoon, kasi it was really part of our itinerary talaga. So, and we were checking the ticket prices. Talagang mahal. Like, ang mahal talaga ng ticket price. I think how much was the cheapest one? I think the cheapest tickets were like...
For Hamilton?
For Hamilton tickets. I think, no. The cheapest tickets we could find before the hour tickets. I think it was... I think it was about $200 for the cheapest tickets.
My God!
So that's how expensive the Hamilton tickets were, and that's not even the original cast. So that's how big this musical is. Sorry, but mali pala. It was $75. So that's still expensive.
That's still really expensive
really cheap seats.
For the worst seats. That's really expensive.
But we got lucky. We just fell in line in the chance audience member seats. So what happens is if there are people who reserve tickets or buy tickets online and they don't show up, you basically get their spot. So we were lucky enough to get in. So we got our tickets for $40 each.
Wow.
Yeah, pero standing room.
Oh,
I don't mind.
I don't mind either.
I don't mind. But even seeing the whole production without the original cast, I cried. As in, when the first note started playing, I was like, why am I crying? And they started rapping. He started rapping. I was like, why am I crying? Oh my God, I don't do this when I watch plays. But it was so impactful. And that wasn't even the original cast. So just imagine why this musical means so much. Why, or, it being broadcast on whatever, or it should have been on the big screen, how important it is, or this musical was. Or just, shows that how big it is.
It really does show how big it was and how important and how impactful it was, especially to you, because I know you with your old man back, you would have been crying after 10 minutes on your feet.
That's how entertaining it was too, that you don't mind standing for almost 3 hours while watching the play.
So yeah,
my intermission pa.
They were also serving gin and tonic, so you can actually drink gin and tonic while watching the play. So I didn't mind the standing.
That's so cool.
That's why I have a Hamilton.
That is very cool.
That's so cool. I'm officially super jealous.
That is awesome.
Can you just imagine? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say something I liked about watching the film production, because this wasn't filmed all in one shot, right? They filmed it over the course of 3 different performances, and 2 of those performances were with an actual audience, so they could get the reactions of the crowd.
Yeah, and, I love that.
They hid the cameras all over the set, all over the theater, so that they could get the craziest angles that you would never get, even if you had the best seats, but also so that the audience would never even know that there was filming going on. Mm-hmm. And I think they succeeded, really, because the shots that they get, they beat whatever. Even if you got the most expensive tickets in the house, you would not get these angles.
That is one advantage of having it filmed over seeing it live. Although nothing beats the live experience, but this will make you want to watch it live.
Agreed.
Right.
I guess how it translated more was you could actually see the emotions much closer. The expressions that they...
and the talsiklaway, especially of Prince George.
Yeah, but that was great.
King George.
That was great. I love
George,
Jonathan Groff. I love
Me
Jonathan
too.
Groff.
Yes.
Although it can
You know,
be
he
sometimes
wasn't
annoying
even-
in Mindhunters, but you know.
I love
Jonathan Groff-
Mindhunter. Shut up.
I love that show too.
I love
Wait,
that show
but he wasn't even a part of the cast anymore at that point. They brought him back just for the filming.
Mhm.
Ooh, good choice.
So
good
because
choice.
they knew that this would probably be the last time that all these actors would be working together again, and they wanted to preserve it. So what the producers did was they shelled out something like $2.5 million
Just to get him on board?
document, just to shoot the whole thing for the entire filming. Disney did not pay for the filming; it was already filmed. All Disney had to do was edit the thing. Or actually, no, not even. I think it was already edited. All they had to do was pay for the distribution rights.
Wow. That's how
And they
much
weren't the
Disney
only
wanted.
ones. They weren't the only ones. Fox, Paramount, everybody was throwing millions of dollars at Lin-Manuel Miranda. But yeah, they went with the House of Mouse.
Well, you know, maybe that's when the courting happened when he was, you know, in that Mary Poppins sequel.
Or Moana.
Or Moana.
It was fun. Moana was fun.
Mary
But,
Poppins
back to
sequel,
the
on the
play.
other hand, was not so fun.
Which one? Sorry?
The Mary Poppins sequel, on the other hand, was not
I
so
haven't
fun.
Yeah,
seen
that was
it.
kind of
It was
kind of
underwhelming.
sad. It was trying to be the first one, but
I would have
failing
loved to see
miserably.
Emily Blunt though. How
She's
is Emily
practically
Blunt?
perfect in every way. I don't blame her for anything.
Okay. Still would make me want to see it.
But wait, let's get back to the play. Let's get back to the
All right, let's
play.
get back to it.
What can you say? What can you say
You
about the
say.
experience of
The price of my love.
Okay, just you wait. Just you wait. We'll get there. God damn.
Wait for it. Sorry. Okay, go on. This is gonna be the toughest challenge of this.
take.
This is gonna be the toughest challenge of this episode. When somebody says something remotely
Similar.
like a lyric, we're just gonna burst into song. But anyway, you can make this a drinking game whenever we burst into song. It's a fun little thing
Take
you
a
could
shot.
do while listening to this. Makes us more bearable.
Okay.
I guess.
So I need to ask, like, okay, fine, MJ, you've never seen the play, right? So
No.
I guess you're one of those people who pretty much encountered this for the first time through crappy YouTube videos and the soundtrack album and the mixtape. What was
Yes.
it like finally seeing it? Did it look the way it looked in your head?
Honestly, no, because I first encountered it listening through Spotify. Everybody was raving about it, everybody singing along, and I felt left out, so I wanted to sing along too. And it was great as a musical because every single thing was sang. Well, maybe just like 99% of it, with a couple of lines that weren't in the soundtrack. But you really understand the story through just listening to the lyrics, and it paints a really, really good picture. But of course, it's kind of like reading a book. If you listen to it just as the Spotify or just as the album, not necessarily Spotify, but if you just listen to it as the album, it's like reading a book or an audio book and you just imagine everything in your head. So that's how the experience was. But then I just already love this so much. I've grown to love the soundtrack and the story so much that yes, it wasn't what I expected when I watched it, but it still made me really happy to see the original cast all together and finally see what the hype was about. But I just had to take into consideration, like, oh, this is just me with my imagination. This is the director's vision. This is Lin-Manuel Miranda's vision, but it may not have been as visually arresting or visually... Well, how do I put this? I imagined it to be more bonga, for lack of a better term, with bigger sets and more props and everything. But I still loved it. I mean, the strength of it in general is in the songs anyway. So I feel like they really didn't need to like beef up all the props and the moving circular stage was really cool, which they utilized really well. But I felt like it was just lacking a little bit, especially in the first act where you have a war.
Right.
It could have been a lot more explosive.
May I chime in?
Go for it.
May I chime? Because they had to run with the limitations of the Richard Rogers Theatre where they are currently running the play.
I mean, I understand.
But if you actually see
That's where Anjo went.
Yeah, for my honeymoon. Woo! Anyway.
What a flex. What a flex.
What a flex.
Ikaw
Weird
na nga
flex.
I know, right?
Ikaw na nga nakapanood ng Hamilton, ikaw pa yung nakapag-honeymoon.
Na-discounted pa yung tickets. Tapos
Buisit.
nakainom pa kami.
Buisit!
No, anyway.
Yeah,
You know, I'd like to point out if you try to watch it again, if you notice the stage design, what's really interesting about it is that if you see what it's made of or what it looks like, it's actually scaffolding, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
So take a look at that. So it's in Act 1, in Acts 1 and 2, you're in Act 1, you see the scaffold. So that's supposed to represent the foundations of what America was, how it was being built. So diba, that's what you start with, scaffolding. Mm-hmm. So you go through Act 2, through Act 3, the scaffolding gets bigger, it gets grander. That's because parang it's being slowly built, depending on the stage.
Holy crap!
So try to watch that. Like I said, my wife is a super fan, so she had me watch all these documentaries, and she would tell me about these things.
I'll definitely watch out for that. But I mean, I'm not crucifying it for not being what I expected, because we all know that like different directors have different visions. So it's something I still ended up loving. And they utilized that circular stage really well. My favorite part was during Satisfied when they did a rewind of everything.
Oh my God.
That was so good.
That was my favorite part.
Incredible.
That was so good, my God.
Like even the performance itself, like whoever plays Angelica Schuyler, man, the amount of emotion that they could put in while rapping that quickly, my God. That is so hard.
I think with that, it's also hard to put bigger props in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's understandable. It's forgivable. But you know what? The music, the narrative, the acting just makes up for all of it. It's fine.
Yep,
Right.
Great. Even sorry, go ahead, Bisha.
No, I was gonna say, like you mentioned, what's her face? Angelica. Angelica.
Eliza and Peggy.
I was just gonna say
everybody has to remember Peggy. Justice for Peggy, okay? Everyone forgets her. There's a third Schuyler sister, guys.
Yes, Misha?
I was just gonna say that she's played by Renee Elise Goldsberry, who also played Mimi in a bunch of productions of Rent.
Yes,
and that
she's now an awesome fighter in Altered Carbon.
Right, and that's like she is. She's what's her name on Altered Carbon? What's her name?
Raven.
Some stupid eagle. No.
Wasn't it like a raven or something?
Oh no, I got it. Kelchrist Falconer.
There you go.
Like the absolute worst name, but it sounds so cool.
Okay.
But anyways, yes, and she does no singing on that show.
No.
But I was thinking because because I just remembered Rent when you were talking about the stage design being
scaffolding.
Minimalist.
Minimalist.
Let's call it minimalist.
And I realized that I didn't even notice that because like Rent is one of my favorites, and that one is essentially a fire escape and a picnic table, and I still love it to death. So if this one is just made of scaffoldings and a circular stage, I can live with that. And I didn't even notice, honestly. In fact, now that Anjo's mentioned it, I'm gonna have to watch it again just to pay attention to the set production design, because I was really taken in by the music and the forcefulness of the performances, which I adored. Because unlike I know a lot of people, they listen to the soundtrack religiously over and over again to the point of memorization. I listen to the soundtrack.
My wife.
No, I'm going to be honest. I've listened to the soundtrack a few times. Yeah, no, I still think it's you. But I've listened to the soundtrack a few times.
Sorry.
But I never attempted to watch the
bootleg,
the handheld, crappy bootleg videos.
Me neither.
I refused.
I did
because I wanted to see it the way it was intended, or the way that it would be in the theater.
No, but you wouldn't appreciate that bootleg copy.
Right. So when I saw this, it was just, for lack of a better word, it was like a revelation. I'm like, so that's what it's supposed to look like.
What a revelation.
Sorry, Mai took her shot. And I'm not throwing away my shot. I'm not throwing away my shot.
You want a revelation. So listen
sorry,
to my
guys.
I'm getting tongue tied. I'm sorry. I can't.
We're obviously still high over, we're still high about.
I can't rap for shit.
We can't.
Okay.
We apologize apologize for all of the singing.
So I hope you're.
Don't say sorry if you're not sorry. Don't say sorry if you're not sorry.
No, we're not
I'm sorry for the rapping, but not enjoying it. Anyway.
Well,
I hope you guys are doing a drinking game while we're. I hope you guys are drinking.
I hope that while you guys are getting frustrated while we're singing, you'll be back soon. You'll see. You'll remember you belong.
Or for all we know, they're singing along.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Hopefully, they're singing along.
Wait, can I just say sorry though? Can I just say,
sorry.
King George by far benefits the most from being seen.
This is my
holy crap! That dude is hilarious.
Yes.
He
Jonathan
is there
Groff
for a
was
total
so
of
awesome.
3
He is the best character in the whole thing. I'm sorry.
Favorite. Like honestly, one of my favorite characters was King George. He basically he was the showstopper of that.
His facial expressions, his little physical tics, like when he does that thing with his shoulders.
Yeah,
I know.
You can't hear that.
Yeah.
Even like the shoulder shrug at the end of his second song. It's just like
I know.
I love him so much.
Wow.
And I'm not sure if the part where he actually I'm not sure if it's an accident where in the first song he spits a little.
No,
you could see it fly off his mouth, or maybe it was on purpose, but either way it was gold.
Yep.
It worked. It just worked.
Gold.
But
Jonathan Groff.
I would love
That's just Jonathan
I know
Groff
that
performing
you would
and being
IMAX in 3D.
and you'd have a lot of people wearing face shields so they wouldn't mind.
You will be back.
Soon you'll see, you'll remember you belong to me. You'll be back.
My favorite line to sing along to really has to be, I will send a fully armed battalion to remind you of my love. Da, 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 da. Okay.
Yeah, I love that part also.
He really stole the show. I mean, I think he's also there to kind of like bookmark a new chapter to whatever is happening, because it was he was there when the war was starting. He was there when they lost the war. He was there when John Adams. He's the transition / comic relief.
Yeah, I mean he's basically your view of the other side.
Yeah,
and then to do it so comically, it's just different. It's very different.
He was there to show exactly what they were fighting against. A tone-deaf, incompetent buffoon. Because who would want to live under one of those? Like, seriously.
Pompous monarch.
He was kind of aloof in a way. Like, he was.
He's like your toxic lover. Especially since they formulated his songs.
I mean, like
fine. Your toxic ex-lover, especially since they formed his songs kind of like pop ballads, a little bit.
Yes, exactly. And how they were written. You'll be back soon. You'll see.
Yeah.
Diba? Like you say, the price of my love is a price that you're not willing to pay. Diba?
Love him so much.
He's pretty awesome. And then, but they even had.
I have so many gifs of him now on my phone.
Like, it even has a reference for the Boston Tea Party, diba?
Not even gonna question the number of gifs on your phone, but okay.
Why?
I liked it. Overall, as a production and all that, I liked it because American history and rap are not things that you associate with each other, honestly.
Nope, not at all.
And I know there are people who've criticized. They're like, how is it an accurate representation of history? They're not white people. But I think that doesn't matter in this discussion. I mean, that shouldn't matter.
I think that was one liberty that they took that I really appreciated, just to see how America has evolved and how diverse that country is.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they really wanted to make a statement with immigrants, especially.
Because
immigrants get shit done.
Yeah.
I was a bastard, orphan, son of a whore from the Caribbean. Diba? Alexander Hamilton was an immigrant.
Absolutely.
That's what they wanted to play up. I mean, we don't. I mean, we're not from America, obviously, and we're not that well versed in their history. So, I'm sure they intended it for a whole history lesson or something to cater to American audiences. But we will take it as how it was meant to be. sort of history lesson, but they took creative liberties to just make it the entertaining piece that it is. So we don't have to we don't have to really think about how faithful it was or what color this character's skin really was, because this is how it was written. It's you can take the history with a grain of salt, although a lot of it was well researched. I'm sure Lin-Manuel Miranda really had to consult with the writer of the book he was inspired by.
Yeah, they were actually selling the copies of the book. If you watch the play itself, they were selling the copies of the book if you want to buy it, so you can read through. And you can actually go through what he went through while reading it, so you can understand his inspiration or his creative process as he was reading the entire book.
Yeah, so just take it as it is. It's the statement they wanted to make at the time.
Absolutely. So especially since, let's not forget that history tends to be colored by whoever's writing it or whoever's
history
retelling.
Has its own.
There's a reason. There's a reason that most people think Jesus is a white guy.
Exactly. Yes, he's not white, guys. Jesus isn't white.
Some of you may be drunk by now.
I think what I like about it also as a narrative is that they were telling a story about the founding fathers of America and the ideals that those people ascribed to, the ideals that they bled, sweat, and cried over, and telling it in the language of defiance, essentially, namely, rap. That's what rap is. It's a language of musical language of defiance.
Yeah.
By telling the story of where they came from in a manner that's very now, it brings everything around in some kind of a circle, and it reminds the people watching it, parang it's like, this is where we came from. This is what we should be aspiring to. I mean, all these ideals and values and, equality for all and all that kind of stuff. Those are things that if you don't uphold them, if you don't believe in them, if you don't fight for them, those are things that you will lose, basically.
Yeah.
And telling it in a musical language that people now can comprehend, can understand, can appreciate, I think that's what makes it work. So you're learning whether or not you know it.
And can you just really that's beautiful. And can you really imagine a musical full of rap with mostly white guys? That's not going to be fun.
I think that would be a hate crime. Unless they were all Eminem, then it would be a hate crime.
You're not even going to consider Marky Mark and Vanilla Ice?
I'm not talking to you for the rest of this podcast.
I'm just kidding. There is Post Malone though. Post Malone is good.
They're also just they're just circling around that, also giving justice to who created rap in the first place. So I think it's fair.
No, but I love the fact that they use different genres for different characters or particular songs.
Yes.
Some songs in particular, like what MJ mentioned about the ballady, those scorned
bandy
lover ballady songs for King George. And if you notice how most, if all not songs were more towards the hip hop R&B genre, and then you take into account the song that Lafayette sings when he returns to America.
Lafayette is a god.
Sorry, not Lafayette. Sorry, Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson. See, I knew it.
Sorry, Thomas Jefferson.
Played by the same actor.
Now you're just being racist.
No, because I got confused. It's one actor playing two roles, man. That's not being racist. Anyway,
you still mistook him for the same person.
No, because I appreciated him more as Lafayette. Because I enjoyed him more as Lafayette than I did as... Not that I didn't enjoy him as Thomas Jefferson, I just enjoyed him more as Lafayette. Because Thomas
Machine
Jefferson...
gun rap with a French accent while jumping off a freaking table. Come on.
Yes. Anyway,
that was amazing.
Not even that. The song was designed to sound more like... Or the song was written to be more of a jazz piece. That's because to represent
Jefferson.
For Jefferson, that's
for
because
Jefferson.
For Jefferson.
What did I miss?
Yes, exactly. That's because that's supposed to show how detached he was. He came from France. They were like, he was in a different
high
world.
with the French.
He was getting high with the French. Basically, he comes back to America and wants to take control or have a position of power. But how can you do that if you're so detached? That's why that's why that song sounded so different from the other songs.
Yeah, and also of course King George. And I just love how the political debates were made into a rap battle. That was genius.
Yes, that was fun.
Genius.
I like the mic drop moments. The mic drop moments were fun.
And
those were awesome.
And George Washington as the mediator, because he's like the neutral one, and he's like the host.
I like
MC. Oh my god, it's genius.
Yep.
And it was fun watching Washington's reactions to their different verses. Because like he's sitting there, he's like, "Yeah, I get you."
But you know what part I enjoyed the most was when Alexander Hamilton comes home and he has work to finish, and then his wife Eliza. Oops, kind of spoiling that. But his wife Eliza enters and says
like
there's a surprise
400 years
for him.
old. I think you can spoil it.
That's true. Anyway, Eliza comes in and says there's some his son has a surprise for him, and then she starts breaking out into starts beatboxing while his 9-year-old son starts rapping. That was really fun.
The world's oldest 9-year-old.
Anthony Ramos is so adorable though. He could play a kid. I don't care.
And Philip Asus.
And he even like said it with so much commitment and passion. Like, yes, I'm a really tall 9-year-old. Deal with it.
I don't know if stop me if I'm wrong, but I kind of noticed like the higher up, no, not even the higher up. Yeah, well, maybe a little bit. The higher up in social status of the people of the characters, or the closer they were to the old world versus the new world that America was building for itself, right? There was more classical musical stylings. They were more show tunes if it came from people who were not from America.
Yes.
The lower you went, I mean, the more revolutionary, the more American that the characters were, the more heavy they were into the R&B, into the rap, hip hop stuff, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's not me, right? I mean, I'm not crazy.
If you take into account how Aaron Burr was performing his song,
right?
It was more to the show tunes, but a little bit more R&B and less of the hip hop.
Because Aaron Burr was clearly of the old world.
Yes,
I mean, he was an elitist, right? I mean, that's why he thought everything, he deserved everything. Yes. But he wanted to establish himself in the new government that was being built, to the point of signing up for a political party he didn't even believe in.
Mm-hmm.
So he was playing both sides.
Yeah, he was playing. Balimbing siya eh, so you can see him from sometimes rapping.
Mm-hmm. And that's why Thomas Jefferson rejected him as his vice president.
Right. And that's also why, he was not a fan of telling people what you think or talking too much, because the more you talk, the more people can peg down what you stand for.
Mm-hmm.
What were his lines in his songs again?
I just love how Wait For It sounds like a Neo song.
Wait for it, wait for it.
Just listen to the intro. It's very Neo musical production kind of thing, and I love it.
I'm not that big of a fan of Neo, so I can't really say. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's what it reminds me of at the
least. Where did you get a lisp?
What? What lisp?
Where did Anjo get a lisp when he said sorry?
A lisp.
I had a lisp. Maybe I meant to do it. Like, I'm sorry. Maybe
he was trying to be Gilly. He was trying to be Gilly.
He was.
I was trying to be Coco Martin.
Oh my god!
It's such a mouthful to say. Silver Swan.
Stop!
You're so mean.
Peace. I love you, Coco Martin. I'm a fan of your movies.
You don't watch a Provinciano?
No.
Oh my god.
Wala na ABS-CBN
eh.
Yeah, that's true.
Wala na kasi
ABS-CBN. I gotta go.
Okay, but going back, okay. What was your favorite part of the play?
Oh, tough one.
Tough.
So many highlights.
I would say that rewind sequence for Angelica Sailor.
That was the most technically great.
Yes.
Amazing sequence.
Yes.
But that
really
song, it's just so hard to tell, but her performance was just so amazing that it was kind of, you could really feel how torn she was because she loves her sister but she's also falling for the same guy that she's in love with. And her performance, especially what you would see in this release, because there were close-ups of her face. You could see the emotions that she was playing. So I guess it was probably one of my favorite performances. That was really good talaga.
Yes, she absolutely nails it and sells the emotion. Like, seriously. How about you, MJ? What was your favorite part?
Well, definitely that's one of mine. Wala na, ninakaw na ni Andrew yung sagot ko eh.
Sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
And get an S now.
There are just so many good parts that I can't pinpoint just one. But there were just a lot of moments where I was blown away vocally by Philippa Sue.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, Eliza's
not so bad for her.
Eliza's a very simple character. She doesn't even rap or anything, but her voice is beautiful. And you just...
she's a beatboxer kasi. She beatboxes.
She can beatbox.
Which was like the cutest part of the play.
I know,
loved
it's
it.
so adorable.
Yeah, that was such a mom thing to do.
She nails every single song with so much emotion.
Yes.
You could... Especially her vocals when she was burning the letters from Alexander.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, her vocals were
heartbreaking.
I would probably
and you could see also through her acting how she was just so angry and she just wants to like burn all these memories of this love that they had. But you could still tell like she loves him.
I don't think it was angry lang. I think it was more.
It's very nuanced. It's not just angry. It's very
betrayal.
But it's such a complex emotion. But
and
she
to be able to pull it off that way.
Yes.
While singing.
Because she loves everybody involved. That's another thing.
And remember that's when maganda rin kasi like how what this production did. Yung when they filmed this production, is you could see the emotions much closer because of the close-up shots. Like especially when George Washington was singing about his last few days.
Oh, I love George Washington.
So if you actually see it, he was actually crying when he was performing that song.
Yes.
So that's something like if you're watching it in the theater, unless you're like really close, I don't think you'll be able to see that. So I appreciated the recorded version for this.
I thought you were telling us that because you were in a theater and you couldn't see it. Because you were drunk on your gin tonic.
No man, I only had one because mahal ang drinks in New York, so I only had one.
Oh yeah,
that is true.
Actually,
that is true.
Yeah, so actually naghati pa kami ni Pash to that cup kasi nga mahal. So
it's okay, totally worth it, I'm sure.
Yeah. Pero the playbills are free, so we have free souvenirs, so that's it. We're good.
Oh man, wait. Can I just share? Because my mom went to the States last year and she saw Hamilton, Dear Evan Hansen.
My God.
And Book of Mormon.
No, I know this. You've told me
and
this.
I don't know this.
All I got were the playbills. That's what she brought home for me. It's like, I watched some plays. I'm like,
again, Misha. New York prices and New York taxes. They do not discriminate.
I know.
Those plays were the exact same plays that we saw.
Well, like I would imagine.
Oh, are you Misha's mother?
No.
Well,
they did. They said New York would make you a new man, not a new woman.
I don't know. They don't discriminate.
Goodness.
You and I need to have a long talk, mister.
Oh my goodness. Revelation.
Okay, so now my wife is looking for our playbills and I don't think she can find the Hamilton playbill because she wanted to show
no.
Oh
no. It's just there. Or
better find it.
You know what my favorite one is? I mean, besides anytime Lafayette is rapping, honestly.
Or anytime King George is on screen.
And I love King George. Wait, do I love King George more? No. Okay, this is gonna be I love the first number, Alexander Hamilton, honestly. Because that yeah. No, but it is one of the best examples. That is one of the Nieta.
Sorry!
Ang taas kasi.
I know. How did you hit that note? Are you a violin?
Our dog started barking.
What the hell, man?
That was so high, MJ. That was so high.
I would have questions if you could go that high, Anjo.
I don't know how it happened.
Oh my. Okay, going back to Misha's point.
I'm sorry. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. No. Okay.
I think you were trying to say that was the perfect introduction for
Yes.
the character.
Right.
It was.
Yes, it was the perfect introduction because son of a bitch.
Misha barely finished anything in this episode. I'm so sorry.
I know that neither of you is really sorry, so I'm just gonna go on anyway. No. Okay,
let's go.
It is the perfect introduction to a musical because you know how the opening number is supposed to introduce the main characters, the themes, and all the players who are going to feature over the next 2-3 hours that you're in the theater. And the Hamilton opening is so iconic that just from the opening notes, Mai can make dogs bark half a town away. But the way it sets the tone,
Yes.
and the way it introduces everything so quickly, but so well, that you know everything you need to know before the song is done.
You have a
And I
rundown
love
of
it
all
for
the
that.
characters. You have a rundown of the lead
Absolutely.
character, all the important other supporting characters, and you also get to know how it ends. And you clearly see who the quote-unquote villain is.
Well, he kind of calls it out. I mean, he admits it himself, right?
Yeah, so
He does.
that's what makes it, it sums it up, basically.
I don't think
This is what you gotta get ready for.
I don't think that villain is the right word for Aaron Burr.
Yeah, that's why I said
How about damn fool? Let's go with damn fool.
Let's say
Damn
antagonist.
fool that shot him.
If truth be told,
Spoilers.
the villain would have probably been King George.
I thought you were going to say democracy. No, I'm kidding.
No.
That's why I did air quotes, because I love
The two-party system is to blame. No, I'm kidding. I'm just going to shut up now.
Come on, Misha, sing.
No, I'm really not gonna.
Come
Can
on.
I also
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
say how they were talking political things that would probably just like fly off my head if it weren't a rap.
Or put us to sleep if it was not
Yes.
so entertaining, honestly.
Yep.
Because
If
seriously,
they did Hamilton the way they did Death of a Salesman, I would have been asleep in the first 5 minutes.
hey, I kind of like Death of a Salesman, but let's not talk about that now. No, I mean,
let's not.
like the first half, right? The first half
Yes.
builds up the whole Revolutionary War and the fight against the British for the right to call themselves an independent nation, blah, blah, blah. It would have been nice to see some explosions, what
Yeah.
MJ said. But I think it works for what it is.
Mhm.
I cannot complain about anything in the first half. The first half, before the intermission, just moves so incredibly quickly, and it's an info dump. It really is. If you don't know anything about that period of history and all that, it's a lot to take in, but it's done so well and so entertaining. You're along for the ride.
No,
It's not
it's
until after the intermission when it slows down, and it's
Yep.
very
Yeah.
noticeable.
It's not
Because the
That's
second
true,
half-
because
no, but
when
but going
you listen to the soundtrack, the fun parts are in the first act. And I
Yes,
don't know,
they
I
are.
find myself
Most
skipping
of
the
the
songs
fun.
in the second half. Nah.
Because the second half is mostly, legislature.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it reflected in the songs. But going back to Misha's point, it was an info dump. It had so much things going on, but you never feel overwhelmed or overloaded just because
Right.
of how entertaining and
Right.
how entertaining the performances were. Even the choreography is amazing, and
Yes,
how
the choreography was great.
and how they
Yes.
utilize that moving treadmill. Do you call it
Stage, yeah.
a rotating?
The Lazy Susan?
The lazy Susan,
Lazy
yeah.
Susan.
The
That's
lazy
what it's
Susan.
called! The thing on
I
the
know.
table in a Chinese restaurant!
But they weren't. They weren't in a Chinese restaurant.
No, they were on a... okay, fine.
Okay, I think now I understand more how why they decided to go a little bit more bare for the set design and everything, because you already have so much to take in the lyrics, and if you're also looking at a super big visual feat in front of you, parang sobra na, because you have to pay so much attention to the lyrics because that's
Yeah.
where you get the story. So okay, I get it. I'm not mad at it anyway.
This play was what made me a fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda. Because Because if you guys didn't know, my favorite musical is In the Heights. I did not know that Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'm not a big musical fan. Yeah, I did not. So when my wife pointed out that the guy who did Hamilton was the guy who did In the Heights, it's like, damn, okay, I like this guy is awesome. Then he does Moana. That's a different episode.
Right. Which I also enjoy.
He even makes The Rock sound great.
You're welcome. But
You're welcome.
But the thing is, nope. I said I wouldn't be singing today. We're rapping.
No.
But
stay.
I gotta say this, and maybe it's gonna get me crucified or whatnot. But he can rap. But I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of his singing voice.
I think everybody knows that.
Yeah, I mean,
is not a singer.
He is a great part composer. Of the reason that I couldn't stand Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins Returns. I'm sorry.
No he was no Dick
No, Van Dyke. He wasn't.
You could also see how he's not as trained as the rest of the cast when it comes to singing, because
absolutely.
You could really see. And I mean, for the first song in the recorded version, he sounded a little out of breath.
He sounded nasal. Mm-hmm. He sounds nasal the whole play when he sings.
In general, he sounds nasal.
His voice is just so incredibly thin that he always sounds tired compared to everybody else.
Yeah, I think that also boils down to he's not as trained as everybody else who have been on Broadway for like decades. And especially he had a song with, I think I'm not sure, one of the ending songs where he was so overcome with emotion that he was too much into like you could really just see the acting of him wanting to cry, but it was affecting the singing.
Yeah,
because the others were so trained that they can convey that same emotion without breaking at all. They still nail the songs. Yes. But Lin-Manuel, unfortunately, when he is overcome with emotion, he's just way too into the acting to not really focus on the singing either. So, he still needs to be trained a little bit, but you still gotta hand it to him for creating the lyrics,
the entire thing,
music. But does he have to star in it? I'm not sure. Some people
look at it this way.
Some people even say that the other people who played Alexander Hamilton were kind of better, at least in terms of the singing.
The guy that we got as Alex Hamilton was actually a better singer. And my wife says he's super guapo.
Please tell me this person's name. Check the playbill.
Check
the playbill in your hand now.
I will send you a photo after we record this session.
No, I want to see it now. I want to Google it.
What was his name again?
You have the playbill.
Oh yeah, wait, hold on.
Again, my priorities.
Her priorities.
I need to see who this is.
I guess Misha could talk about something while I entertain MJ.
That's all I'm good for? Filling dead air? What the hell, man?
Because we're actually trying to bait you into singing. So go ahead, sing. You haven't even.
No, you go check out.
You haven't even dropped some bars tonight, man. Drop some bars. The entire play had a lot of hip hop influences. So drop some bars.
It's a podcast, not a play.
What's up? Come on. MJ even went on that legendary Spriog note. That really high-pitched note.
I don't even know what that was.
No, that's for a different episode. It's a Will Ferrell movie.
A little tidbit though, I'm so happy that one person who also played Aaron Burr in another staging, I think this was in Chicago, Wayne Brady played Aaron Burr.
Wayne Brady?
Wayne Brady!
No way.
I cannot imagine that.
No way.
Whose line is it anyway?
No way.
I know he can sing, but I cannot imagine that.
Awesome.
That I would see.
But I would watch it. Awesome. I can't imagine it, but I would watch it.
I love Leslie Odom. Awesome. I love Leslie Odom. He did an amazing job, but I am such a fan of Wayne Brady that I want to see this so bad.
Aawayin ka ni Pash.
No, I love
Kasi
him.
sobrang crush niya si Leslie Odom.
I love him.
She's in love with Wayne Brady.
No, she loves Wayne Brady. She loves Wayne Brady as well, but she would be like, Leslie Odom.
Yeah, I mean, I also want to see it though, being a huge fan of improv and Wayne Brady.
Can you hear her? Can you hear her?
No.
His voice is so hot. How can you not?
I'm not saying I I wouldn't.
Oh, wait, sorry. His voice has so much swag, sorry.
His swag. How can you not?
Wait, in her exact words, his voice, his swag. How can you not? Yeah.
I'm not. I completely agree. I just really want to see Wayne Brady.
Okay, for your reference, you can Google Austin Scott, but it's a very generic name.
Austin
Just say
Scott.
Austin Scott Hamilton.
Okay, thank you.
I guess I'll do that too.
Well, Misha. I don't know.
Hello. Hi.
What am I even?
Hi.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
God damn it! Why do I listen to you two?
My God.
Why do I listen to you two? It always gets me in trouble.
I don't know. Maybe you like getting into trouble.
Anyway.
No, I was gonna say what I was gonna say was with what was being discussed earlier. Yes, he's not the best singer. Miranda's not the best singer, but can you think of a better way to become the lead of a musical than writing your own?
No.
That's like the easiest damn way to be cast as the lead, other than paying for the damn thing.
Oh my God! Wait, he Tommy Wiseau'd it. Oh my God.
Well,
at least he's talented.
he actually came up with a piece of art.
Yeah,
he actually came up with a piece of
brilliant. Okay,
I know. It's a
I was
joke.
actually going to say something about he made history. Wait, Tommy Wiseau made history too by making the worst film ever.
We'll talk about that in another
worst
episode.
film, but yeah, we can do that another time.
Yep.
I'm so excited.
It's fun. Oh,
But
hi,
with the star, what I think what I respect the most about what Lin-Manuel Miranda did here, clearly it's not his singing voice, but what I clearly respect is from the beginning until the very end, there is such a clear voice of the author throughout the entire piece. Like you can hear, you can see,
Literally.
you can feel what they were going for. No, I mean really, you get what their point was, where they were coming from, and what they wanted to accomplish. And
yes.
It's not the most subtle of plays. It's really not.
No.
As a commentary on everything that's going on in the world, as commentary of where the United States is at this point in time in history, and where even where minorities stand in the greater scheme of things. All of that came through beautifully, but it was able to do it in a way that wasn't condescending, that wasn't pandering.
It wasn't preachy.
It even threw in a history lesson without being preachy. Absolutely, it wasn't boring. Most of all, it was not boring. And at the end of the day, you'll be singing these songs, for like Anjo, you'll be singing them for 6 months straight.
No, I wasn't singing it for 6 months straight. That was my wife.
Just stop saying it's not you.
Yeah.
You.
Why do you
Nobody
keep
believes
lying?
you.
I
Nobody
did it.
believes you.
I did it for 3 months.
Believes you.
I did it for 3 months. My threshold was 3 months.
Yeah. Even our producer doesn't believe you. Look at her.
Guys, just in case for visual reference, she's actually looking at us straight through the camera and twirling her hair as I'm saying these.
Yeah, she's judging you from a safe social distance.
With very judging eyes.
And furrowed brows.
Maybe she's also judging because I kept singing and then she's sick of it. I hope you guys aren't sick of it. Just do the drinking game. It's fun. Every time you start singing.
Something else I appreciated when you mentioned earlier that the camera angles and the setups, they help you really appreciate like the emotions more because you get to see you see the actors, you see them crying while they're singing and all that, things you don't necessarily see when you're sitting half a theater away. You see them spit.
Well, sometimes you can see that in the theater. So it's easier to see spit flying out of an actor's mouth than tears rolling down his cheek or her cheek.
They got the same cinematographer who shot the last Broadway performance of Rent in 2005.
That's why.
But I like his work here. I like his work here better than in Rent. Because in Rent, I thought that his camera was all over the place. Here, he actually lets the cast do their thing. And he doesn't like cut away at inopportune times. He lets the camera linger a little bit. I like the way he shot this one better.
Okay, that's good.
Did they shoot?
I guess he learned from it.
Did they shoot the Rent, the last run of Rent with an audience as well?
They shot the last. They shot the. If I'm not mistaken, they shot the actual last performance of Rent
in one go, just one go.
in one go. That's also why. That's why
I
you
guess
have
they had
some of
less
the
editing
OBC.
options.
You see some of the OBC show up at the end to sing "Seasons of Love." So yeah, I think
Yeah.
it really was. That was great.
I think I got my wife that DVD as when we were still dating. First Christmas gift I gave her.
Aww.
Aww.
Because Rent is her
Cute.
favorite, but I think Hamilton is a very close second. Hold on, I'll ask her. Which is your favorite musical? No, now currently, is it Rent or Hamilton? Okay, her favorite is still Rent. Hamilton is like super.
Yeah,
but
we could get to Rent and other musicals some other time.
We should. Really should.
With Pasha.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'll be fun.
Yes, she will be joining us for a musical episode and one.
Yes.
I think, yeah.
More people to interrupt Misha with singing.
Yes. And unlike me, she can actually sing.
Unlike me too. Like I can just reach impossibly high notes.
We just sing to mock Misha. Or no, not mock, to annoy Misha. Somehow bait him into drop bars. Misha, come on.
If you're doing it to annoy me, you do it very well.
Please, Misha, just one line.
Our job here is done.
Just you wait. I'm good.
How is a bastard orphan, son of a whore? Come on, guys. Come on. Misha, come on. Next line.
And that's about how much time we have for today's episode.
Sure. Okay. We can try again, Anjo, in the next episode. We can try for the musicals episode. He just might.
Yeah, even from his favorite musical.
It's a goal. That's something to look forward to.
Oh, speaking of Lin-Manuel Miranda, they're actually producing, or I think they're trying to get the movie In the Heights released. The trailer.
That's what was supposed to come out in July or August.
Yeah.
But they had to do reshoots, so it got delayed to next year.
Yep. I'm excited for that.
So they flipped it around. They put Hamilton this year, The Heights next year, and hopefully we will not have to watch it from the safety of our quarantines.
Yes.
No, COVID's a bitch.
I am dying to get back up just to be able to see a movie screen.
Or even just go to a theater and enjoy all these Broadway musicals. Well, Broadway, papuntang New York.
Yeah.
or even just local plays. Because they've been doing that here locally as well. They've been showing some local productions on YouTube for a limited time. And even Andrew Lloyd Webber films, productions.
Yes. It's done now, diba, with Andrew Lloyd Webber?
Yeah, that was finished. So hopefully
you have a taste for the more classic ones than Andrew Lloyd Webber. Oh, speaking of which, I still haven't seen Cats.
You make me sick.
Okay, I'm done with Anjo. We're ending the episode. Bye.
Why? What did I miss?
And that's it for our Hamilton episode. Thank you guys so much. If you stuck through the whole thing with all the singing, I applaud you.
You're super drunk now.
Yep.
You're either super drunk or deaf or just really tolerable of our shenanigans. But thank you for joining us on this episode of Sub-Auteurs. Let us know what you think. We have a Facebook page, so go check it out. Please like it, and we post some updates there too.
And some articles and news tidbits.
Yes, we shall. So yeah, that's it for our Hamilton episode. Thank you for joining us. My name's MJ.
I'm Anjo.
I'm Misha.
History has its eyes. What do we end it with? We started with the opening. How do we end it?
I still can't do it as high as you.
I don't think I can even repeat it anymore.
Ang sakit ng lalamunan ko.
that was a one-time thing caught on tape. So... Oh.
There you go. There you go.
The last one was more seamless.
Yes, it was. Because it had that dun, 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 dun.
I can't. My throat hurts now. And my dogs might go deaf or something. I don't know.
I might start barking.
Things.
You made my dogs bark.
Oh, damn. I wanted to do something.
What?
Sing.
Stay tuned for the next episode. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Sub-Auteurs is a movie review podcast by a DJ, a writer, and a filmmaker. Sub-Auteurs is produced, recorded, and distributed by Big Baby Studios.